Load up your family and head to the annual Foothills Festival, September 15th and 16th in downtown Jasper. Join CBS 42 for 2 great days of food, fun, shopping, and great music. Admission is free. Get all the details at cbs42.com.
We welcome you into the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. Brett Elmore alongside Brian Hell for WJLX Sports. We are live on radio and, of course, our Facebook and YouTube. And, Brian, another week of high school football in the books. Let's take a look at last week's scores before we get to our special guests of the evening.
Absolutely. It started off. It was a tough night for the Vikings. Of course, number 2 team in the state. Number 2 for a reason. They're wanting to keep that so they can settle up with Pleasant Grove. Ramsey 55, Jasper 6.
Yeah, it was a game that to Jasper, they ran into a buzzsaw. And when you play athletes from top to bottom like Ramsey had, you kind of expect that a little bit. Of course, Coach Reeves will be on at 6:30 with his show, and we'll talk more about that. Oakman defeated Midfield 21-12. That was a hard-fought game.
Yeah, to follow up the victory over Cordova with a good region win, a region opener is good news for the Oakman Wildcats.
Let's see. Dora defeats Curry 61-14. And
I think we kind of knew that one was coming.
that one was kind of coming, so yeah, you kind of expected that. Dora, one of the cream of the crop in the Wal-Win.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Haleyville defeated Cordova 36-21. Another tough night for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, certainly is. 0-3 start to start off with.
Do you think that this coming week at Corner is a must-win for them?
Well, they've got to. And Corner, of course, Corner's undefeated on the season, so I think it is must-win territory.
Meek, the Tigers, they rebound. They defeat Waterloo. 52-14 was the final score in that game.
Yeah, business back to usual for Meek. We knew that Waterloo was going to be a way for Meek to get back to where they needed to be, and certainly did.
Alabama Christian, a winner over Lynn, 30-20. The Bears are even up at 1-1.
Hey, that game, as you remember last year, was 66-24. There was points in this game that Lynn was actually leading. So, and this is a 3A class of the top Alabama Christian team. So, good job with Lynn to really give them a good run for their money.
The Addison Bulldogs, another team that starting to roll, 54-6 over Cherokee.
Yeah, and Addison, of course, getting their momentum established in region play, so good job for them.
Pickens County, a winner over Summit Christian, 56-0. Summiton still struggling on the season.
Yeah, and tough sledding, Brett. You faced the number 2 team in the state last week.
Yeah.
You're back in the fire this week.
Back in the fire, and then Winston County, the Yellow Jackets. They defeat Carbon Hill 62-28. The offense explodes.
Absolutely, and 3 of our guys that are here today, they all had massive games, including our Wal-Win area player of the week.
We will get to the Winston County Yellow Jackets when we come back after this 2-minute break. 2 minutes, and we're back with more from the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper in just a moment. We welcome you back to the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper tonight. Bingo night. We're giving away a lot of great prizes. Of course, normally here on Thursday nights. But here on Wednesday, we got gift cards to give away. Got tickets to the Grand Ole Opry. Also tickets to Disney on Ice to give away tonight. Some of our prizes here at the Pie Factory. That'll all start at 7 o'clock. Y'all look like y'all want to go to Disney on Ice. Is that right? Guys are from Winston County joining us here tonight. Double Springs, and these guys are representing, and I'm talking about Coach Caleb Simmons and the purple and gold of Winston County. Coach, appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. First thing I want to do is, sports, especially in our area, especially high school sports, it's such a big deal, such a big thing for families, for the community, and the things that you guys do, spotlighting these kids. That's what it's all about. So I really want to say I thank you for, having us, and thank you for doing this every week.
First year head coach here at Winston County. How's that transition been?
Oh, it's been good. So far, Coach Mitchell, he did a really great job. The last 5 years, he made it. Whoever came in after him, he laid down good framework for them. So far, it's been a really good transition.
The season so far, opening up the season with Addison and a 14-0 win. That kind of, no disrespect, but kind of surprised me. I was like, Winston County is going to be one of these teams that's going to compete.
Yeah, well, we had a good summer program. Just wanted to go in and compete. Addison's a great team. They got great coaches,
Sure.
Great kids. We wanted to go in and compete. It's first game of the year. See where we were, see where we are, and we ended up on the winning end. So that's always a plus.
Talk about that East Lawrence game, 4-point loss at home.
Yep.
And kind of what happened there.
Well, we had a. I don't want to make excuses. We had sickness come through. We had a lot of kids out. We didn't have a very good week of practice. In my mind, we weren't mentally ready to play. We didn't respond to the weather very well. We didn't respond to adversity very well. But I think we needed that. I think it kind of, shook some of us awake, and hopefully it showed, the next week, this past week.
Well, Coach, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to introduce your players that you brought with us here today, all three of which just were dynamic against Carbon Hill. First and foremost, Landon Kelly. Now, Landon actually ended the night with 361 total yards. Next to him, Raheem Moore is actually our Wal-Win Area Player of the Week. He'll be getting an award trophy at the end of the season for being the Player of the Week. 389 yards. And then, of course, lastly, Eli Moore, who was absolutely dynamic at wide receiver, caught 5 passes for 188 yards and snagged 3 touchdowns. Coach, 658 yards on the night.
Yes, sir. We really pressed all week. What's going to define us is that East Lawrence game, who we are. So that was really a big selling point to us. That's not the team that we are. That's not the team we practice to be and strive to be. So it was a real big focus, that Carbon Hill game. We don't want to play down to our competition, up to our competition. We want to play our game. And I think, the kids came out and they were excited and they played well. And then we ended up on the right end of the scoreboard.
Coach, pass that mic over to Raheem. I want to ask him a big night for you, but also I noticed today – in my emails, you were one of the state standouts from the Alabama High School Athletic Association that they released today. You were highlighted in that. Surprise to you, but news to you. But after a performance like that, congratulations. And what went well for you?
Hey, I appreciate it, but I want to give a big shout out to the offensive line. Y'all boys did y'all thing the other night. Like what Simmons was saying, bro, it was a good week of practice and everything. I just felt ready to play.
Gonna have to buy those guys a cheeseburger or something this week and congratulate that offensive line. It's always good. What's it like playing for Coach?
Coach Simmons, I don't like him.
You don't like?
Wind sprints.
I was about to say. Now that's a first because I always say, now's the time to earn some brownie points.
That's right.
And then he says, don't like it. Well, at least he tells the truth. No. All right. Let's pass the mic. What about? Do you get the?
Landon.
For one of the first times, I'm speechless doing this.
Well, I would just ask him, Landon, from the quarterback spot back there, how much was that offensive line setting the tone for you guys?
Oh, they were amazing. That was untouched the whole night. Then they get no sacks. I mean, as much time as I needed. So.
Eli, you were able to get those reads that you needed to from Landon to be able to catch all those passes. I know you absolutely were loving having the time that he had to connect with you.
Yes, sir. It's great getting the targets, make a play, make a couple plays.
Well, Coach, let me ask you, what's it like coaching these kids?
Oh, these are great kids, man. I mean,
even Rakim?
Even Rakim. Rakim is an athlete. All three of these guys are athletes. We were really fortunate. Eli hadn't played in the last few years, and he came out, and he's been a big plus for us. Rakim is an athlete. You just try to get him the ball as many ways, as many times as you can. And, I think I was there about 30 minutes my first day in the weight room, and I walked up to one of my assistant coaches, and I pointed at Landon Kelly and said, that is my quarterback. Yeah. Because, Landon's a winner. Landon does the things that it takes to be successful. So I've really been blessed with great kids and great coaches and great administration. It's just, couldn't ask for a better place.
We haven't really talked about the Carbon Hill game, 62-28. I mean, we've touched on it, but not really talked about it much. After that loss by 4, everything offensively seemed to click.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, we spent we spent the week leading up to the Carbon Hill game. Who are we? What are we going to be? We got to find an identity. And really, it started up front with the offensive line. They did a really great job. It's the best game they played all year. Coach Cummins did a great job with them. It really started with them. They did a great job. So that really made us go.
You more of an offensive or defensive guy?
Well, when I was at Cordova, I was on the offensive side of the ball, and then when I went to Fayette, I moved to the defensive side of the ball. I think as a head coach, I don't think you could be, either or. You have to, be involved in both. So, I have probably my hands in the offense a little bit more, but my assistant coaches, they do a great job, and they make it a lot easier on me.
We're going to take another 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Sulligent game coming up. Also, the rest of the schedule that's coming up after this. This is Wal-Win Sports Weekly live from the Pie Factory on JLX.
Good job.
Load up your family and head to the annual Foothills Festival, September 15th and 16th in downtown Jasper. Join CBS 42 for 2 great days of food, fun, shopping, and great music. Admission is free. Get all the details at cbs42.com.
Second down for the Vikings. Line of scrimmage around midfield.
We welcome you back to the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. Brett Elmore and Brian Hill with the folks from Winston County, the Yellow Jackets, into the broadcast tonight. Coach, Sulligent traditionally very good. What do you know about these guys and what to expect on Friday?
Sulligent's always got, great athletes, really good up front. Now they have Coach Gunnels. I worked with him last year at Fayette. He's a really good coach. He knows what he's doing. I think they are far and away the best team we've played. I don't even think it's a competition. They're a great team. It's going to take a lot of focus this week, which I think we've had. It's going to take a lot of focus. It's going to take a lot of effort to come out on top.
You have a couple of teams in that region undefeated, Sulligent being one of them, Lamar County also 3-0. Then a bunch of you are 2-1. I mean, Cold Springs, Greene County, Tuscaloosa Academy, and, of course, you guys, Aliceville is winless, but shaping up to be a tough region gauntlet.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think I looked I didn't look, but somebody showed me earlier in the week when they came out with the ratings, the rankings for 2A. I think like 6 of the teams we played were either in the top 10 or getting votes. But you don't want to play. We don't want to play down. We don't want to play up to our competition. We want to play our game. We did that last week, and we'll hopefully play our game this week and come out with a win.
Guys, I'm going to ask Coach and all of y'all, considering that this is not only a big game against Sulligent, it's also the region opener, how great would it be to start off region play with a win, considering those great teams that are on the schedule, including this one?
We all think it'd be amazing. Great way to start region and just nice way to start it off. I mean, they all agree with me, I guess.
They're just passing it along there, Coach.
Anytime there's a region game, I talked to the kids this week. When it's time for region play, it's different. You want to approach every game the same, but you just can't help. A region game is what's going to propel you, on past, into the postseason. So to come out 1-0, that would be great.
Of course, you always look to improve on all sides of the football, but what have you been most pleased with, I guess, early in this season, 3 weeks into it?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, we're not making the same mistakes over and over. We're making different mistakes, which is a good thing. You don't want to have to correct the same thing over and over and over and over. But find me something else to critique, if that makes sense. But
yeah.
Between game one and this game we just played, I think the little things that we needed to clean up, I think we've done a good job with that. The coaching staff's done a really good job with that. So I'm pleased with the way that we're progressing.
Absolutely.
Coach, obviously, one thing I know you're going to be looking at outside of the normal keys to victory is the way that those guys up front play, regardless if it's offense or defense. That the winning the line of scrimmage is going to be key.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter, what level of football. You got to be able to run the ball and you got to be able to stop the run. I don't think, I'm a firm believer in that, whether it's, 5 and 6 year old, whether it's the NFL. At some point, you're going to have to be able to run the ball. At some point, you're going to have to be able to stop the run. So that's a big focus this week. It's going to be a big focus moving forward.
Before we get to the keys to the victory, let's you're talking about 6-year-olds all the way to the NFL. You guys, who do you follow and on the college level and maybe even the pros and some of your favorite players?
I'm an Alabama fan.
You're a good man. Thank you.
And I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay, all right.
So the two best teams in college and then the NFL.
Okay, there you go.
Looking forward to winning a national championship and a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what this guy has to say.
I'm an Alabama fan and an Atlanta Falcons fan.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You got a favorite player or what? Favorite player?
Nah.
Just team game. He's a team player.
I'm also a Bama fan and a Falcons fan, so
Okay. All right. Good guy.
local teams.
Coach, you Roll Tide or War Eagle?
No, I'm an Auburn fan, but I'm also a Harding University fan.
There you go.
That's where I went, and that's where I played. And to be completely honest with you, I don't follow a lot of NFL. I'll watch it when they get to the postseason.
Yeah.
But
I like
Sundays is usually when we're doing a lot of breakdown and preparation for our game. So I don't get to see a lot of the NFL stuff.
All right, Sullivan's coming up Friday night there in Double Springs. Talk about the keys to victory.
Well, I think the keys to victory are the same every week. Blocking, tackling, taking care of the football. They got, like I said, they've got athletes. They can score. They got several guys that can score from any point on the field. We just got to keep them hemmed up. We got to hold on to the ball. We can't get behind the chains. So, the keys to victory are the same. Block, tackle, take care of the ball.
And a message to the fans. I know I've been up there before. There at Double Springs, and the fans always come out, and they really enjoy watching the Jackets play.
Oh yeah, all year we've had great support, great crowd. Last week it was a huge crowd. I know it was homecoming, but hopefully we'll get a lot of people out. It's the region opener. It's a big game. They're undefeated, so hopefully we'll be able to see everybody out there.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate the players for coming out, and best of luck to you throughout the rest of the season, and I'm sure we'll be talking more as we progress.
Yes, sir. Thank you all again, and go Jackets.
All right, very good. That's going to do it for Wal-Win Sports Weekly. Coming up next, Coach David Reeves Show. The head coach of the Jasper Vikings will be joining us after this 3-minute timeout. 3 minutes, we'll be back with more in a moment.
Load up your family and head to the annual Foothills Festival, September 15th and 16th in downtown Jasper. Join CBS 42 for 2 great days of food, fun, shopping, and great music. Admission is free. Get all the details at cbs42.com.
The Coach David Reeves Show on the radio now here on this Wednesday night. Normally, we're here on Thursdays, but this week we got a Thursday night game, and going to welcome in the coach, David Reeves, the head football coach of the Jasper Vikings.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Coach, ran into a buzzsaw the other night. I tell you what, they came in second in the state. They looked all of that, maybe more.
Yeah. Well, you know, they have a phenomenal team and do a great job, and we knew it going in. It was a good learning experience for our guys just to see what the bar is, what it's supposed to look like. I thought they played extremely hard. They're well coached and a very talented team. Disappointed for our first and foremost for our players. You know, they come in and look at it, and we tried to be some guys who we weren't. Just tried to do too much, not in a negative way. You know, not in a negative way. I thought our guys fought, but you know, just tried to be something we're not. And so I was disappointed for them. I know they wanted to show better. I was disappointed for our fans. You know, what a great crowd we had, you know, really supportive, a lot of good things. And so we just got to keep working, but they were an outstanding team.
How has the week of practice been?
It's been a phenomenal week. I mean, it was almost like we got through it, came out the other side, and the guys were going, wait a minute. You know, I see this, and you know, things really started to click. I thought we've had great energy, good physicality. You know, Coach Chapman has a great plan again on offense. Coach Butler has a great plan again on defense. You know, and so we just got to come out and execute.
Final score of the ball game: 65-6.
55.
55. I'm sorry. 55.
As bad as that is, I just don't want to give them 10 more than they had. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a typo there. But anyway, yeah, 55-6 was the final. And I know you're a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Gave up 55. Of course, the Coleman game was 15-13. But I know you're a defensive guy. And
that hurt my soul.
Yeah,
that hurt my soul. And you know,
I think I told Woody off the air, I said, I bet you Coach is just really not happy
well,
right now.
You know, I was aging in dog years. There's no doubt about it. I was aging in dog years, you know, and it is frustrating, you know, and like I said, but it wasn't anything other than guys just trying to do too much. It was really, you know, and I'll tell you, you know, one of the things we've talked about for this week is we got to start fast. I mean, for 2 weeks in a row, you know, we came out and put ourselves behind the 8 ball. You know, we came out the other night and, you know, misaligned 2 or 3 times and bam, bam, bam. And, you know, and all we did was energize somebody that was already a really, really good football team. And then we go with 3 and out and then bam, bam, bam. And then they're up and then they kick it to us and we let it roll around on the ground. And you can't do that kind of stuff in big games. And our guys know it. You know, I mean, they're not – you know, they're not immune to the fact that, oh, crap, you know, what am I doing? I mean, but it's been a big emphasis how we start, you know, start fast and end faster, you know. I mean, that's just something we got to keep on beating home. But, yeah, as a defensive guy, I wanted to run out there and make some tackles myself when he got close to the sideline. I don't know how many I could make anymore, but I would still try.
What was that coach for Ohio State?
Woody Hayes.
Yeah, Woody Hayes. Yeah. That's kind of how you feel sometimes.
Yeah, and you know, and Tommy Lewis running off the sideline.
For Alabama.
For Alabama. Too much Bama. You know, I felt like doing that a couple of times the other night, but you know, didn't want to embarrass us. It was, but you know, like I said, it's you know, we knew the way we were going to have to execute. We knew the level we were going to have to play at. You can't give a great team points. I mean, all you have to do is look at the highest level of football this weekend, and you see games going the same way. You know, you see 2 really good teams playing, and one team makes more mistakes, and then you look up at the scoreboard, and it didn't go the way you thought it should go or the way the talent said it should go. I mean, execution is at every level, you know, regardless of how hard you play.
One of our big positives is Micah Pledger. He, of course, won our Jasper Custom Trophy WJLX Player of the Week. He had over 100 total yards scored the game. Coach, is it just me? Is his ceiling extremely high? He's just a sophomore.
He is only scratching the surface. I'm so proud of him because, he runs angry. He runs with a chip on his shoulder, just like you want a running back to do. But then his vision and speed, he can finesse you. He's got hands out of the backfield. The thing I'm proudest of is, and then in pass pro, he's going to stay in there and block you. I mean, he's really the complete package. And you said it. Every time we go out on the field, he just keeps getting better and keeps getting better. So we're really excited about him. Hopefully we can get him out. I see our offensive line coming around. More and more and more. Just adjusting to the offense, and pretty soon it's going to all click and it's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, they say it's a process, and that's what you're going through. Talk about the young talent. I mean, there's a lot out there.
Oh man, well, our two corners are both sophomores. So we're going to have them a lot more time, a long time, I should say. We got a sophomore that plays outside linebacker. We've got, an eighth grader that starts for us at safety.
Yeah.
We've got an eighth grader that comes in on defense also. We've got some sophomore old linemen, some sophomore receivers. I mean, it's really exciting, and a shout out to the JV. They won again this week over a really good Fayette team. I mean, they came over here loaded for bear, and our guys, once again found a way to win. And so, the future's bright. We just got to keep getting better. I'm impatient. I'm not trying to wait, but there is a process that goes with it, and so we're just going to keep pecking away.
It all will pay off in the end. And I was sitting there in the booth, and I was thinking to myself, goodness, Coach is he's ruthless. He's got these 8th graders and 9th graders and 10th graders in here against Ramsey, the defending state champion.
Yeah.
You got to be thrown in the fire.
You do.
And you've got to learn.
Yeah, we said it earlier, talking. I don't remember if we said on the air or off the air, but, the only way to keep the moment from being too big is to be in the moment.
Right, yeah.
And so you've got to have all those opportunities. And, I'm happy with our older guys, too. I mean, they're getting better and they're playing hard. And we come to practice and compete every day, and the best guys are going to go out there. If it's a senior, if it's an 8th grader, that's what we're going to do. And so, but that's the only way to learn to be in the moment is to be in the moment. And so you put them out there and they're coached up and but then there's always something that there's always something with young guys. And so it's fun, though. It's a lot of fun for me. It's a lot of fun watching them grow. And I'll tell you, seniors to 8th graders, those guys are working right now. I mean, they are putting it in, and they're not backing down, and they're not letting up. I mean, like I said, one of the best weeks of practice we've had since I've been here is this week. And so I'm really proud of where they are. We just need to find a way to put a W up, and roll from there.
I know starting out 0-2 is not what you would hope for, but you were coming up on the third week of the regular season, and
right.
You made that jump from college back to high school, and
right.
What? How do you feel right now? I mean, it's like you're in a totally different game.
Yeah.
And I know you probably watch a little bit of football on Saturdays and those big.
I get to now, really.
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
It's exciting,
and that's one of those things I think that you were looking for. But high school football is so pure.
It is,
and college football, and you were in it for a long time. It doesn't seem like I used to like it because I thought it was pure too.
Yeah.
But now you have NIL and the transfer
portal. Yeah.
It's becoming almost a semi-pro.
It really is. I didn't like that part at the end of it.
No.
I mean, it's been so refreshing to come down here and see our kids getting off the bus most of them can't drive, you know, or see them getting out of their carpool and you know, talk to them right then first thing in the morning and know they're walking in to go to class and you know, and then they, you know, they come over with you know, a different mindset and a different set of problems. It's really fun for me. It's really fun, you know, watching our coaches mentor these young men and help them, you know, start taking those steps in their life, moving from excuse me, from young men to grown men. And so that's exciting. I mean, I like being at this spot. Guys are impressionable, you know, and you can have a huge impact. So it's been really refreshing for me.
Coach, when you take a look at the overall since you've been involved with the program,
Yeah.
What's been some of the most moments that you're proud of thus far?
You know, I thought our fight both games, you know, was really good, especially getting down early and you know, self-inflicted or not, bad things happening early and the guys just keep playing and keep believing and you know, and that's you know, that's who I am, you know, and that's who our coaches are, and that's what I want to keep bleeding down into our guys. It ain't always going to go your way. It ain't, you know, and so and to watch them learn to put their backs against the wall and keep fighting, and you know, the excitement, you know, even at the end of the game, man, the game's bad, and they're talking on the sideline, hey, one play at a time, let's put this one in, hey, one stop at a time, let's do this, and so we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out, you know. But again, for me, it's amazing, you know. The coaching is the same, man. Our coaches are coaching them hard, and it's still get lined up, play fast, and play harder than the guys you're playing against, and that's at every level, you know. And so that part hadn't changed, you know. The guys you're coaching might be a little smaller, you know, but again, to your point, they're playing because they love the game of football. And I do too. They're not playing for an NFL check or an NIL deal. Man, they're just out there playing, and that's so exciting to me. And you know, the purity of the game we talked about earlier, man. That just makes me feel good inside to know it, to be back a part of that. Now, you know, I've got to brag on the city of Jasper because, you know, here though, you know, they're doing it big time as big time can be. You know, I mean, they're really from the crowd support. You know, to how the programs run, you know, to the support we get, man, it's really, really been refreshing, but with a bunch of great things that you know you still need. So
I think we will have one of the best high schools in the state.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I'm a 100% believer from somebody that haven't been here a year yet. I mean, it doesn't take long. You know, it doesn't take long to recognize, wow, this is going to be really special.
The Viking spirit.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. We won't see too many more teams like the Ramsey Rams, thank goodness. But we will take a break and come back and talk about our next opponent, the Fairfield Tigers. That's coming up after this 2-minute timeout.
Load up your family and head to the annual Foothills Festival, September 15th and 16th in downtown Jasper. Join CBS 42 for 2 great days of food, fun, shopping, and great music. Admission is free. Get all the details at cbs42.com.
We welcome you back to the Pie Factory in historic downtown Jasper. Brett Elmore, Brian Helf, WJLX. A rare Wednesday night. We'll be hosting bingo at 7 o'clock. Normally on Wednesdays we have that promotion here. Got a lot of stuff to give away, and the crowd's starting to come in for that. We normally have a great crowd for that. But the Coach David Reeves show tonight. Coach, Fairfield, the Tigers. I know you've been watching some film on those guys.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a little, yeah.
Your thoughts on those guys?
Very senior-laden team. Talk about them offensively first. I mean, they're very big up front. The 2 guys that they have that aren't real big are extremely athletic. Can really get up on the second level in a hurry. Quarterback and athletic. Run around guy that can make the throws. I don't know if he's got quite the arm strength as a kid last week, but a super strong arm and big, tall, fast receivers to go to. They run the ball downhill and really try and get after you. I mean, they've got a great plan on offense. It's going to be they mix in enough option to really make you play assignment football. So our work's going to be cut out for us. I mean, the big thing, we just got to do our job, and not try and do anybody else's, have our eyes where they're supposed to be, and, play extremely hard. Now, defensively, a lot of times 4-4, they will go to a bear look in certain situations, and they'll just lock you down. I mean, they've got the kind of athletes that can come out there and smother you with their coverage. Athletic and fast up front. A couple of linebackers that can really run. They try and bring a physicality to the field that our guys are accustomed to seeing, but they're a physical football team nonetheless. And so it's going to be a huge challenge for us on both sides of the ball.
Coach, not only do you have the challenge of such a talented opponent, region opponent coming up.
Yes.
On top of that, there's just a six-day turnaround in between Ramsey and Fairfield.
Yeah.
So how has it gone dealing with that challenge?
Yeah, Monday was the best Monday we've had all year. Unfortunately, it was really Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It was really Tuesday. Now, I thought our guys have great. I tell you, I was at the field working all day Saturday, and the Toy Bowl was going on, and, so many players stopped by and looking at tape and looking at the game, and so we were really able to put that one behind us and grow and learn from it and move on. And so, when teams are as multiple as they are on offense and defense, it's always going to be a challenge. We'd have liked to have the extra day, but our guys have responded well. And next Thursday, play again. And so we'll be back on track a little bit better now with the extra day. So, excuse me. So it's been a challenge, but but our guys have responded. They've responded. So we should just come out and execute and see what happens.
How do you feel about Thursday games, especially two back-to-back?
I like it for our guys.
Well, you're going to be the only show in town.
The only show in town, and they get a chance to showcase who they are. I mean, I'm old school. High school football's made for Friday nights,
Yep.
And Friday night lights and all that stuff. But I understand. This weekend was the Foothills Festival, and we want to make sure that we did our part to be a part of that and all that kind of stuff. Next week, Winona asked, they share stadiums over there and officials and stuff, and to keep the game alive, man, we'll easily do our part.
Sure.
But now I'm a Friday night guy from way back, and so it's but I just love watching our guys compete, though. I mean, it's going to be a good show.
Coach, when you look at Fairfield from your defensive eye,
yep.
What stands out the most? What worries you the most? Is it the guys in the backfield? Is it the wideouts? Is it the line? What gives you? The most worry?
I would say they're skilled guys. And that includes their quarterback. He's extremely athletic, and like I said, does have a really good arm. And then they've got some guys on the outside that can run, and then some guys in the backfield. I mean, they keep you, they keep you guessing. I mean, they do a good job mixing it up, and so it's really their athleticism that's concerning.
Sort of like deja vu all over again. Last year, I think our first win was against Fairfield.
Right.
34-26 was the final. I remember going over there. Hard-fought game. I mean, like you say, got a lot of talent, and I tell you, this region's stacked with talented teams. I mean, one team that's really stood out to me, and I think we talked about it, was John Carroll.
Yeah, I mean, another big win for them. I mean, they're I was lucky to see that's one of the games we had on Fairfield, and it jumps out. Their guys are playing hard, and got a lot of confidence, got a lot of belief over there right now. Really impressive job by them.
Winona's playing.
Put some good numbers up against Pleasant Grove.
That kind of surprised me a little bit too.
And so, but that's good. That's where we want to be. I mean, I've said it since I got here. We want to play the best, and we want to be the best, and that's the only way to get better. Is you got to keep playing those kind of teams, and really measure yourself out. You got to look in the mirror as coaches and players, and be honest with it, and say, this is where we are, this is where we're trying to be, and this is what it's going to take to get there, and be willing to make that commitment from all sides involved in the equation.
What are you most happiest with as far as you're coming into the third week of the season in the program, in the growth? What's the one thing that kind of stands out?
I would think our attention to detail. I mean, you can see, you can really see, now you're seeing guys that no, oh man, that was me. Oh man, that was me. Oh, I was too high. Oh, my hand placement was bad. Oh, my first step was bad on the O-line. Oh, my read was wrong. You can see them starting to take ownership. And when you see players, start taking ownership, and okay, this is really fixing to be something we want it to be. Coach-led teams can be pretty good, but player-led teams are great. And when we're at practice and you start seeing other guys and holding players accountable, they're holding each other to a high standard, and they're holding each other accountable. That's when you're really starting to get through, and that's probably my biggest thing. That and the fight, like I said, found himself behind an 8-ball a couple of weekends in a row, especially last week against a really tough opponent, and there wasn't no head drop, and there wasn't no there was disappointment. I mean, sure. And I would expect it. They wanted to play better. They know we're better. I know we're better. And so you would expect that disappointment, but there wasn't no head drop and there wasn't no finger pointing, realizing we're all in this together. So those will probably be the things that right now going into week 3 that I'm probably pleased with the most.
Coach, as we wrap things up, keys to a victory tomorrow night. We need the entire city to come out. Thursday night game. But keys to a Viking victory.
Yeah, I mean, the support obviously is going to be great, but when you really start talking about our guys, we need to start fast. It's the things we talk about every week. It's eliminate explosive plays on defense and create them on offense. It's effort, energy, and execution. It's protect the ball on offense, create takeaways on defense, all the same stuff, but we've really got to start fast. I mean, it's a big deal. We don't need to push energy into another team. We need energy to feed off of, and so it's going to be a big deal that we come out and start fast.
Well, Coach, I know there's not any off days for a coach really, but you get Friday off, and are you planning on going to the Foothills Festival this weekend?
If I can get away for a little bit,
you may be scouting somewhere.
Friday night I'll have somewhere to be. Friday night for sure. Friday, the great part about Friday, we'll come in, we'll get to watch the tape, we'll get an extra lift in, and so I'll never complain about getting more days in the weight room for sure, and so we'll be able to put this one behind us. Good, bad, or indifferent. Saturday will be a typical work day, and then Sunday we'll be right on to preparing for the next one. So the schedule's kind of already laid out. I mean, hopefully I can get away and check out some of what Jasper has to offer with the Foothills, but only after work is done.
There you go. Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always.
Love it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach David Reeves, head football coach of the Jasper Vikings. That's going to do it tonight, Brian.
Well, go Vikes.
Go Vikes.
Best of luck to everybody in the area this weekend. Looking forward to some great games.
Yep.
All right, very good. That's going to do it from the Pie Factory in downtown Jasper. For Brian Hale, for Sebastian Black, and for Coach Reeves, I'm Brett Elmore saying good night for the Pie Factory.